Do you want your game to run on a low-end PC or mobile? A year ago, I made a video where I shared 5 methods for optimizing a game. But today, I'll show you more advanced techniques that developers use to make their games run smoothly on low-end PCs and mobile devices. Let's get started. First, let's talk about draw calls, one of the most important factors when it comes to game optimization. In a game, the CPU sends commands to the GPU so it can render objects on the screen. If you have one mesh, the CPU only needs to send one transform, like its position, rotation, and scale, to the GPU to render that object. But if you have 100 separate meshes, the CPU has to send 100 different transforms, one for each object, telling the GPU where and how to draw them. This communication between the CPU and GPU is called a draw call. The main problem here is not the size of the meshes, but the number of meshes. Well, each call has to be processed by the CPU before being sent to the GPU. Imagine it like a funnel. If we only have a few draw calls, they zip through the funnel instantly. But if we have too many, the CPU takes far too long to process them. This is what's causing the low FPS. The first step to lowering draw calls is joining multiple meshes into one. But draw calls are also created for each material. If one mesh has 10 materials, it will still create 10 draw calls. So here we also need to combine all the materials into one. But we can't directly merge materials. For that, we need to use a texture atlas. A texture atlas is one big texture that contains many smaller textures combined into a single image. To create a texture atlas, go to the UV editor and create a new image. Here I'm using a higher resolution texture so we can adjust the quality later. Then go to UV map properties and create a new UV map. Now select your mesh, go to edit mode, press U, and choose Smart UV Project. Set the island margin to 0.02 to avoid color bleeding between UV islands. Open the shader editor, create a new image texture node, and choose the new image. Now copy this texture node and paste it into all the other materials. With the new UV map selected, go to Render Properties. Set Bake Mode to Cycles, enable GPU Compute, and under Diffuse, choose Color. This will bake only the base colors. Now click Bake. It might take a little while to finish. Well, as you can see, our texture is ready. Now create a new material, add an image texture node, connect it to the base color of the principled BSDF, and select the baked image. Now add a UV map node, select the new UV map we created, and connect it to the image texture node. Now assign the mesh to the new material. And that's it. Now we have a single material that contains all the textures. Finally, save the baked image texture you just created. Well, since the texture is high resolution, we can resize it in programs like Affinity Photo or Illustrator. Well, for low poly models, baked textures aren't ideal for maximum optimization. However, there's an even better approach, the color map. A color map is a tiny texture that stores all the base colors of your models. Because it uses very little memory, it's one of the best ways to optimize a game. Creating a color map is simple. Copy your material base colors and add them into a small texture using a pixel art tool. Then export the color map. In Blender, select your model, go to Edit Mode, press P, and choose Separate by Materials. Now select one material, go to Edit Mode, open the UV editor, select all UV, press S then 0 to scale them down to a single point, and place them on the correct color in the color map. Now repeat this step for all the remaining materials. Then join all the separate meshes, create a new material, add an image texture node, choose the new color map, and assign the material to the mesh. Lastly, change the interpolation from linear to closest, and that's it. Now instead of sending multiple meshes and materials, the CPU sends just one draw call with one material and one transform. Well, the second big performance bottleneck is using real-time shadows. While they make your scene look realistic, they can be very heavy on both the CPU and GPU. Every shadow has to be calculated in real time for every frame, which can quickly eat up performance, especially in games with lots of lights or complex scenes. To optimize shadows, we use baked light maps. A light map stores all the shadows in advance, so the game doesn't need to calculate them in real time. Well, there are two ways to bake light maps: using Godot's built-in light map system, or baking the light into textures with Blender. To use Godot's light map, add a Lightmap GI node to your scene. Then select your mesh, go to the mesh menu, and click Unwrap for Lightmap. Next, in the Lightmap GI node inspector, set the texel size. A smaller texel size gives higher resolution textures, but takes more time to bake. Now click on Bake Lightmap and save it. Now, as you can see, even if we turn off the directional light, the mesh still shows the baked shadows, which is very efficient. However, sometimes Godot crashes when baking lights in large scenes. So the better option is to bake the lighting in Blender instead. To bake lights in Blender, first add and set up your lights. Then, like before, create a new UV map. Next, add an image texture node and create a new image in the UV editor. Assign that image to the image texture node and add a UV map node. Then go to Render Properties and set the Bake mode to Combined to capture all the lighting and colors into a single texture. Finally, click on Bake. After the bake is complete, select the second UV map, assign it to the Image Texture node, and connect the texture to the base color of the principled BSDF. Well, before exporting the model to Godot, make sure UV2 is set as UV1 by clicking the arrow button. If that doesn't work, you can simply delete the old UV1 map. After exporting to Godot, you can see the model on the right baked with Blender, and on the left baked using Godot's light map. However, you can increase the model's resolution by putting a higher quality image into the texture slot. Well, let's take a look at low poly art. Since we're using color maps for low poly art, we don't need to bake the colors into the texture. We only need to bake the lighting. First, create a new UV map and unwrap your mesh. Then add a new image. No need for high resolution. A small texture works fine for low poly shadows. Then, like before, add an image texture node, select Bake mode to diffuse, uncheck the color option, and click Bake. Then add a UV map node and a mix node. Change the mix node's type from float to color and set the mode to multiply. Connect the base color to color A and the light map texture to color B. And finally connect the mix node to the base color. And now you can see the shadows appearing correctly on the model. Once exported to Godot, apply a shader material to the model. It multiplies the base texture by the baked shadow texture. Now go to the shader parameters and upload the base and light map textures. You can adjust how strong the shadows appear with the shadow factor. Well, if you just want simple lighting without shadows to avoid flat surfaces, a better option is using a shader. I've already made a video about it, and you can check it out from the description. And that's all. If I come across more useful optimization tricks, I'll make more videos about them. If you like this, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next video.